Here we are with our jig set that we're going to be using to make our cribbage board. It's a two-part jig. There's one base that we're going to use multiple times, and one that's just for the end piece. We have two little, I'd call these little holder pins, and we're going to be using these as we're working through our project 2. It's going to hold everything in place. The other thing our jig comes with is a nice little drill bit that's going to push down exactly how far we want the holes to be. So that makes it nice and easy for us too. So the trickiest thing that we have to do is just make sure everything is laid out properly and do it exactly how it expects us to do. So make sure you pay careful attention. This is one of those videos you may want to repeat and go back and repeat and go back so that you have this done right. So the first thing you'll notice is that it has these two indexing holes that we're going to put our little pins into. What it wants us to do is it wants us to start out by putting those holes at the end. So I'm going to start by making sure that the jig is flush against the back of the piece of wood. I'm going to move it up just a little bit and make sure that the edges are straight as they go down the edge of the piece. It is 5.5 inches in width for the jig, so it's made for our project. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the drill and I'm going to put in the indexing holes. I'm going to go straight down as it tells me to. It'll only go this far and then come back up. Once I have those set, then I'm going to put in our two little pins. Hold it solid. Up. Up. Okay, so now we got two holes drilled. And what we're going to do now is we're going to take our jig and we're going to turn it around so that we have these. Now these holes on the cribbage board are set to keep points. So if you're playing against two other people, you're trying to keep points, or you have 3 teams that are playing, first team to get all the way to the end wins the round of cribbage. So I'm going to set the holes so that my jig is right on top of those holes. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the 2 pins into those holes, and again, these are in the scoring holes. So now that they're in there nice and solid, what I can continue to do is complete the rest of the jig. So I'm going to make sure all these holes are finished on this jig, and it'll be in place now because it's got the pins. I might have to, at the end, come back and do the holes around here. I'll just move these pins somewhere else so it holds it in place. So now it's just drill, 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 until I got the whole jig filled in. So every now and then with your drill, sometimes there's going to be some wood that gets stuck inside the little bit. So just kind of pull down on this thing and spin a little bit and it'll pop out. Now I'm on to the last couple holes of the jig here. So the next two that I'm going to do are those indexing holes again. This is going to set where we're going to kind of put this repeating piece over and over. The game requires 121 points, so I have to repeat all these little runs of 5 constantly. So I'm going to do the indexing hole again, put it over the hole, don't have to push down too hard, and then back up, back up. So now that I have those two, I'm going to take my little pins, and I got 2 more holes I have to do here. Okay, now my jig is complete for this first one. So I'm going to pull out the indexing holes, kind of clean off all the crud that's built up inside the holes. So now you can see this is the first jig all filled in. And now we're going to have to repeat the jig 5 times. 5 times. Say it with me. 5 times. I bet you didn't say it with me. So let me show you how you repeat this. We put the indexing holes in there. And what we're going to do now is we're going to set the 2 holes that we did as the indexing holes to be the first holes in this run of 5. Now we line up the indexing holes with the last holes of the last run of 5. I'll put in my pins. Make sure everything's straight. Okay, so now I'm going to just do this set of 5, the 3, 3, 3, so what is that? 9 sets of 5, 45 holes, and then I'm going to have to move it again. So I'm gonna drill these and I'll show you what to do next. All right, so this was the next of 5 runs. Now that we have all those holes there, I can pull out the pins, knock off all the gunk. And again, I have these first 2 or the last holes of the run. I'm gonna use those for my pins, and now I'm just gonna keep using this. So if I just did one more repeating round, that's gonna mean I have, how many more times am I gonna have to run this straight? That'd be 4 more times. So I'm gonna run this and just, let me get this in here. I can't walk and talk at the same time. Okay, I'm only gonna run this section 4 more times. Once I get done with that, I'll show you how to use the last jig for the final piece. All right, so almost done with this. The last thing I did is I put in the last round of the repeating ones. So we did the base one, and then we had to repeat it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. So I'm gonna now hit the indexing holes. And those are gonna set for my last jig. So the last jig is the rounded off piece. It's the heading halfway, about halfway through the game, going back, and then you always come up the middle. So you start here, you go around, you come up the middle, and the first one to get it into the middle hole wins. That's 121 points. So, just like last time, I set the holes here with those indexing holes, and I'm going to use those first holes for the last jig. So now all I have to do is get all these holes in, and then we will have everything finished. So I'll just kind of get it started, and I'm sure you can use your imagination to figure out how the rest of this video goes. Again, making sure I'm pushing down firmly and coming back up. Just a little bit. Clean out the bit a little bit. And I will have to move these pins out of the way and then get the holes around that at the end, and then I'll be finished with this. So we'll see you next time for the sanding part of this video.